Hello everyone, and welcome to Bionicle Day, Day 2. I'm Eljay, and today I'm here to announce the winners of the first part of the Toa Hagah Canon Contest. The goal of this contest was to give appearances to the remaining 4 Toa Hagah that were not released as sets. To catch everyone up to speed, this is the 3rd Canon Contest being hosted by the TTV channel, and being seen over by Greg Farshty from LEGO. This contest started on May 14th and ran until June 11th. Voting was supposed to start shortly thereafter. Unfortunately, it was delayed until July 22nd for a variety of factors. One, the size of the contest, given that there were over 400 entries that needed to be sifted, organized, categorized, and placed into individual polls. Numerous life circumstances that got in the way, including projects and health-related matters, and one Brick Fair, Virginia that happened in the midst of all of that. Eventually, of course, voting did begin on July 22nd and officially wrapped on August 8th. From over 400 entries, nearly 100 for each Toa involved, it was whittled down to a final 4 per character. The finalists are as follows. For Bumanga, the underscore double, Perpetual, Balamnamnam, and Kodiak. For Koalas, Kodiak, Sinova 32, Perpetual, and Subpar Faux Pas. For Gaaki, Kodiak, Doni, Perpetual, and Galvanese. And finally, for Pooks, Kodiak, Doni, Galvanese, and Perpetual. Of these final entries, 4 will become the official basis for what will eventually be the canonized appearance of the remaining Toa Hagah. To catch everyone up to speed before we announce the winners, a quick overview on how this process works. What we do is we ask voters to vote for their top 3 preferences in these polls. We can have up to 20 entries per poll, but you can only vote for your top 3 in order of your preference. So your number 1, your number 2, and your number 3. What we then do after the polls conclude is run it through a coding system, which allows us to determine which entries are the most preferred by voters. This is why we rely so heavily on voters to vote for all 3 preferences, and why we rely so heavily on many people to show up to vote. From this, we move forward in the polls, taking the most agreed upon appearances and moving them forward to compete against each other again. This process has been made possible by a kind gentleman over at BSO1 by the name of Infrared on our boards. He was able to set up coding to make this possible, and it's usually run through by our member Tenebrae Invictus. So thank you both for your help. This is made possible thanks to the both of you. Getting to this point was a long and arduous process, as unfortunately, this is the 3rd contest we've run, and it is easily the most complex to handle. There were multiple factors that needed to be considered going forward into this contest, unlike the previous 2, at least in regards to actual appearance. With the previous 2 contests, a lot of the aches and pains were simply that of growing pains. It was trying to figure out how to balance community input, how to figure the infrastructure out, and how to make sure that the contests ran as smoothly as possible. While it wasn't always achieved, fortunately, the previous 2 contests helped us get to a point with this one where the infrastructure was all ready to go. It was just a matter of actually getting to the polls. It took us several months of deliberation, community discussion, debates, arguments, and conversation to get to the point and agreed upon rule list. It was not an easy task. However, we're confident that this was the best way of going about this contest, and it will satisfy the most amount of people in the long run. It makes sense, it's reasonable enough to everyone, and the majority of people that we spoke with agreed that this was the way to go. Moving on from this point, we're going to begin an art contest. What we'll do is we'll ask entrants to create an art piece, just one, featuring all 6 of the Toa Hagah. Artists will be allowed to make certain modifications to the entries you are about to see in order to help better make a cohesive team, or to give their own artistic interpretation and a little bit of artistic flair to the entries. After the entry period closes for the art contest, polls will begin once again, asking the community to vote on their favorite iterations of the Toa Hagah. Eventually, when a winner is determined, it will be sent forward to Greg Farshty, where he will declare it canon, officially giving us a proper canon representation for all 6 Toa Hagah. Now that everyone's caught up to speed, let's waste no more time. You're here for one thing only, to find out what the official basis for the remaining 4 Toa Hagah will be. So without further ado, the winners of the Toa Hagah Canon Contest Part 1. For Bumanga, Toa Hagah of Earth, the winner is the underscore double. For Koalas, Toa Hagah of Ice, the winner is subpar faux pas. For Gaaki, the Toa Hagah of Water, the winner is Donnie. And for Pooks, Toa Hagah of Stone, the winner is Kodiak. These 4 entries are now officially the basis for what will become the canon representations of the final remaining Toa Hagah. These were by no means easy victories for any of these entries, and it was fascinating to watch who and what and why people were voting for and when and where, and it was very interesting. Many people had different reasons for voting the way that they did, and it was kind of a fascinating process specifically for this contest. However, this portion is officially over, and now begins the art. Starting right now, for 1 month, we are officially beginning the art portion of the Toa Hagah contest. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to illustrate, for the first time, all 6 Toa Hagah to be voted upon by the community to be sent to Greg Farshty for official canonization, to eventually be represented on the Biosector 01 wiki page. So get started. Make your art today and make an account over on the TTV message boards at board.ttvchannel.com. You need to be 13 years or older and follow the rules, and you'll have a good time. And in order to participate in voting, you need to have a message board account that is at least Trust Level 1. So get started. We're looking forward to see what you all make and what you decide to share with the community. Hopefully, it'll be a lot of fun for all involved. And eventually, we will have official appearances for characters we've known for over a decade. Thank you all so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of Bionicle Day 2021, Day 2. I'm Eljay, and farewell.